Hello everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoring Guides, bringing my guide for Transformers Devastation Grimlock campaign on Prime difficulty. Today we're doing Chapter 7 entitled Legacy. This is the final and last chapter, and it is funny enough, it's not a boss rush, but it's actually, well, kind of. It's like a mix of a boss rush and mostly just a wave rush type thing. So, first wave, ground soldiers, not that bad to deal with. Luckily, we only have like one big giant one anyway, so... and then two regular blue Stunticons, I think. No, wait. Are they Stunticons? Or are they... I forget what they... I think so. No, there's two big ones. Oh, well, anyway, you have your friends that help you fight them too, so it's not a big deal. But it will get harder as it goes through. But the hardest part of Chapter 7 has to definitely be the Constructicon. Constructicon slash Devastator Minosaur fight, I would say, is probably the only one that's really going to give you that much of a challenge. There are extra, real quick, there actually are extra levels you can go do. So there are sub missions you can play here that have other stuff you can do as well if you wanted to. But they usually show up in like the fork in the road, because for the most part, Chapter 7 is very extremely linear in comparison to every other chapter we've played so far. With Chapter 1, I think, being the most non-linear of all the chapters, surprisingly enough. Anything in the city is typically a very non-linear-esque fight. So yeah, but if you made it this far in the game, then you're pretty much already good to go. You already have an idea of what's going on. But I will still admit, though, that even somebody like me who knows a good amount of how to fight these ass wipes on the hard difficulty setting, like, I've done this 5 times with the Constructicon part. Even I would still admit that, like, yeah, that part still sucks. And Megatron himself, I mean, Fight 1 is pretty rough, but then Optimus Prime versus Megatron is actually much easier than his first fight, which is very odd, but it's still cool. Thematically, it's still a pretty damn badass moment. And I still love this game, dear to death. I want to play it again. So, I mean, that's a problem. But, alright, Motor Master. So, I guess it is kind of technically a boss rush, because I believe we fight Blitzwing. We definitely fight Skywarp. And we fight... God damn it, I always forget his name. Oh, shit. We learned it last time I did this, and I already forgot his name again. Because they never appear, man. They get, like, one fight. I should know this because we fought him before in one of the chapters. Skywarp, I think this is the first time we ever get to fight him, is in this chapter. I don't think we fought him before that. Thundercracker. Thundercleese. I don't know why I'm always thinking of, well, because the word thunder in it. But yeah, Motor Master is still, for the most part, pretty easy to pick on. If you let your buddies just... Oh, by the way, if your buddies do not die, you get extra points for each person that's still alive. I think that's how it works. But either way, you get like a plus 50 if like nobody goes down. If you're going for S-rank stuff, double S-ranks. But yeah, I always think of Mr. Thundercleese from Brack Show whenever I think of Thundercracker now. Mainly because of the word thunder being in it. But yeah, Motor Master is still just as easy-ish. Like, he can clip you. You know, there are times where he's gotten... There are times where he's gotten a few hits on me that I was not expecting. But for the most part, he's not too bad. Even with his lackeys, like, that's the thing that makes these fights kind of hard, is when you have to deal with lackeys. Which is why Blitzwing was so fucking just damn near impossible to deal with sometimes. Because of Blitzwing with lackeys is just not a fun fight ever. Blitzwing by himself, it's fine. But then, like, he's got anybody with him. Like, yellow ground soldiers, my god, those guys are just a pain in the ass. Which I think that's what this chapter is, or at least has. But there you go. There's that. And now, of course, on to the next. So basically, it is just kind of like a giant... Here's everybody. We're going to have you fight everybody again, except for like a few bosses, because you were kind of building up to fighting everybody anyway in Chapter 6, and now you're just finishing off the rest of everybody you didn't get to finish off beforehand. Which Blitzwing was in Chapter 6, so I think maybe we don't have to fight Blitzwing again. You would think I would know this, but I get it all confused. So... That's what happens when you just play the game from, like, one arena to the next. You don't really take into consideration anything outside of just, oh yeah, here's that arena, here's that one. Real fast. the confused thing worked really well there in my favor, because yellow ground soldiers, even though they are, you could dodge them, of course, but when it comes to fighting them, they're actually one of the more aggressive and annoying ones to take down and deal with. So having that confused ray going actually worked quite well. The thing that sucks about fighting the yellow ones is the simple fact that trying to even set up anything, like say if I was trying to do the jumping triangle, like holding triangle move with the hammer, they would just jump up and hit me. So they tend to do that more often than any other enemy type seems to do. So there's that. But there you go. Letting your friends kind of just deal with whoever and whatever, typically does kind of lend itself pretty well. It keeps a few of the enemies off your back. Not like it'd be impossible to fight them anyway, but having that little bit of extra oomph, really does kind of help out a lot. And here's a breather section, except for Grimlock. Grimlock is the only one that has to have so much damn trouble with this fight in particular. Granted, you could always just theoretically use your fire breath to take out the bombshells in the air, the non-red bombshells, but I always try to go for vehicle attacks because I feel like that's just going to help out a lot more, but I think I just gave up. Because, as you can see, they keep stunning me. And I just said, fuck it, fine. Fire breath it is, because that's what it's going to have to go down to. Also, that keeping the allies safe mechanic is going to be a dreadful thing to even get when it comes to the Constructicon fight. That's just, I feel like, near impossible to get that point. From the fact alone that, the Constructicons suck massive ass to fight. If you're not using items. And that's the thing, though. That's the key trick I'll give you guys right now is when you get to that fight, just save your items for that fight. Like the power booster, hard coat, and all that. Just save it for that fight. Don't worry too much about using items. It's not a big deal. I don't think using items even gets rid of your point system regardless. I don't think so. I don't think this is like Devil May Cry where like using items fucks you out of an S rank. But, don't quote me on that. We're not doing S rank stuff anyway, but yet. That's the scary part, isn't it? It's like, he's planned out like 6 campaign runs. When I first started this, hell, about the same time as I first started this channel, which, that's weird, a decade ago, my main plan for this project was I'm just going to do 6 campaigns. We're going to do all 5 main campaigns of every character, and they're going to have their own campaign run. And then after that, we're going to do all 6 together in a campaign run. We're going to switch them off between each other. And now it's like, well, now that I know how to do S ranks, or at least have an idea of how to do S ranks, should I do it or not? But I'm worried about the checkpoint system, because unlike MGR, which had a perfect fucking checkpoint system, I don't think this game has that. So I have to rely on the fact that, like, if I have to rely on the fact that I know for a fact that I've gotten enough points for each fight, and I think that's just a little too much for me. Which, to be fair, I would much rather do SS ranks than pure platinum medals for Bayonetta, because fuck that. Not only do you not get checkpoints, but a Bayonetta level lasts about anywhere from like an hour to like 2 hours. And it's not fun having to grind for that shit. Constantly doing no damage, constantly doing combo stuff. Look, I like Bayonetta 1 and all that, but god damn, man, like, I'm exaggerating by the level length, though, by the way, but it's still a long fucking game, man. And you gotta do the side mission stuff, too. Which, for this game, you don't have to do side missions, but you do have to do every main mission. So there are extra little missions you can go find around the field that if you just appear there, it's like, oh, here's one right now. It's like MGR, where, like, sometimes thereuld be, like, some random thing in the distance that you have to go fight. Except in MGR, the side mission stuff is required for S ranks. But luckily, MGR S ranks are actually quite piss easy. I wouldn't say piss easy, but they're easy enough to where it's like, it's not that bad. The game is... I'm surprised I'm even able to do it now that I think about it. Ooh, that was my jaw that just popped. I'm hurt a little bit, sorry. But, how the fuck do I do S ranks in MGR? Because there's no dodge. There is a dodge, but there's no witch time or anything like that, unless you count blade. Well, blade mode is the closest thing to that. But still, like, that's not an actual dodge. dodge witch time mechanic. That's just straight up just its own time stopping mechanic on its own. Maybe I'm just that good. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. The fun part of the game. So I'm just immediately right off the bat, I'm just tired of fighting these guys all the time the way I've normally done it. We're just going to go ahead and equip Power Booster and Hard Coat because I have 5 of them, and you can only have 5 at a time, I think. So, here we go. How do you deal with Constructicons? Well, like this. Equipping your items will help out massively because it'll just take out quite a few of them. If you got a good overdrive, save it for now because, as you can tell, this just completely wipes out most of these assholes with that upgrade in hand. If you got the Confuse Gun on hand, that's great too. If you can take out one at a time... I wouldn't worry about your friends too much, but if you can take out one at a time, use loudspeaker. If they all get onto you at once, I mean, you're just gonna have to do a bunch of vehicle attacks. You're gonna have to do a bunch of dodging into holding square or holding triangle moves. That's the best advice I can give for this fight. It is long and annoying if you don't have items on, of course, but it is doable. It's possible. It's not the worst thing ever, but yeah. If your buddies do go down, you can, of course, revive them. And at the same time, if your buddies do go down, you get a full heal. So it's quite nice. And luckily, Grimlock has hell of defense. So we don't really need to rely on getting healed too often. And this game has that magic pixel thing where if you do get down to like 1 bar of health, like 1 small tiny little bar of health left, you will still stay alive. You have an endure mechanic. It's really nice. Which, at some point, I would like to get to Kingdom Hearts 2. I just mentioned that right now, because talking about Endure stuff. I've always thought about doing Kingdom Hearts 2 on this channel. I might skip Chain of Memories, just because it's repetitive as fuck. I like Chain of Memories, but it's repetitive. But for 2, like, I'd like to do Proud and Critical Mode. That'd be kind of fun. But that'd be a future project for, like, much later. Because currently, right now, I'm trying to get the Transformers stuff done. And then after that, I don't know, probably just... I might do one more guide and then go on a break, or I might just go on break after Transformers. Really depends. So Devastator, not that difficult to deal with, but it's Devastator Minosaur that you have to worry about. And this is one of those cases of you're just going to have to dodge all the time. So that's kind of the main thing here. I would say your best bet, weirdly enough, is to focus on Devastator, because he's already like half health. You might as well just, delete his ass. And just keep in mind, or try to keep on camera Minosaur in the background the best you can, so that you can use his electric attacks to dodge and get that focus time off them instead of Devastator's crap. And there you go, knock out Devastator, use items if need be, because it makes this fight 10 times easier. I'm not saying that, if you've got pride on, if you're prideful about it, you don't want to use items, you don't have to, but it will take a lot longer to do it. And I've done these fights without items before, so it's not like impossible. I know that for a fact. I'm just saying that if it helps you guys out, then I'd say go for it. Which, luckily, this game is really nice about that type of stuff, too. You can just go buy items in the Ark. You don't have to, yeah, I mean, you can just go buy them pre-chapter select, or whenever you get a chance to switch characters, just go buy items there. I mean, because you get plenty of credits after you get, like, level 99, so, yeah. That's the other thing, too, real quick, is you don't have to build up to level 99 for every character if you don't want to. If you just want to beat Prime without that stuff, that's perfectly fine. I'm sure you could most likely do it at low level. I don't think it'd be impossible. Because the actual main character levels, I don't think matter nearly as much as they do when it comes to weapons and tech. That's where the main key component kind of matters. But, anything helps, I guess. But I'd say just, if you're going to go grind, just go grind before you get to Prime. But then again, I think harder modes give you more credits, I think, too. I don't know. I don't remember. So, Megatron fight, you can dodge the fire, which is very helpful. Because, again, getting any chance to go into focus time is always a net positive when it comes to this fight. The Grimlock ability, can also work pretty well, too. Very nice ability to have. And there's not much else I can say. It's just Megatron. I mean, you fought him before, but now he's got a different kit of stuff he can do. He's got that fire attack. He's got transform into tank, spin around, which I think he's done that before, actually. What else is new? He's got a new flail thing, new flail mechanic that he's got. So there's that. Be careful of... Oh, yeah, by the way, you can upgrade... There's a tech that you can equip which allows you to have more than just 3 dodges. Because it's got that Bayonetta dodge system where if you dodge too many times, you'll basically just go into a stale dodge. Not that it's impossible to get a dodge off of it. It's just one of those things where, like, it just keeps you kind of... It just kind of fucks up your combos. It's pretty much just a punishment system to stop you from doing it too often and try to rely on doing it precisely. However, with Transformers, it's not a big deal. So, just fair warning that, you know, that's something you can get. You can get tech to up your dodge amount. So if you really wanted that badly, you can do that. But precision dodges should just hopefully reset it for the most part, I think. At least you'd think they would, but, you know, yeah. So again, this fight is nothing but the usual case of, I'm just going to hammer his ass. I'm going to do loudspeaker, you know, whenever I can get a chance. Sometimes it's kind of hard to land a loudspeaker. I don't know exactly why that is. Why certain times. I don't know if it's like a stun lock type system or whatever. But I think that if you hit him a few times, it does make it easier to get a loudspeaker attack going. At least it always looks like it. And if you're up close and personal, like if he's too far away, obviously you're not going to hit it. It's got low range. But if you're just far enough away to where like you can still hit him, but he's still far enough, he will dodge, and which can fuck things over. I did actually think about restarting checkpoint there, by the way. I was like, oh man, I died. I should restart checkpoint. Then it's like, oh well, yeah, screw it. I already used items anyway. Might as well just stick with this. Real quick, dodging into uppercut move. You might as well do it for the most part of the fight. I understand that sounds extremely boring, and I get that. But if you're really worried about fighting Megatron, you're like, you're really struggling with Megatron here. That'd be one way of doing it, I guess. Would just be just mashing dodge, and then every time you get a dodge, just hold down square triangle and just go with that. Definitely one of the coolest parts of the game right here is this punch out scene. But yeah, like I definitely think you get more money from that in Prime than you do in normal mode, I think. But there you go. There's Megatron with Grimlock. So Grimlock is now basically essentially complete. And all that's left now is just Optimus Prime. Which he does carry over your weapons. And I think he probably carries over your tech too. I've never confirmed that or denied that. I don't know exactly what it is. Also be wary though. Because we haven't played Optimus in a while. But do be careful of his ability. You can still get hit while doing it. However, now that I think about it. Actually, technically no. Because we have the damage dodge move on, so even if we were to do the trailer attack, I still think you can still get a dodge off, just from the fact alone that it counts as a dodge at the same time, and if you get hit during that, it still will give you the focus time for it, so I think we're fine. I think it's just when you don't have that damage dodge move on, I think that's when it kind of fucks things up. But other than that, yeah, Megatron in this fight is not nearly as bad. I mean, one, there's no fire around, and two, his attacks are the same as he was before when it came to the last fight. And he does, I think, get like maybe like 1, maybe 2 new attacks. But other than that, he's not that bad. He's just straightforward, you know, dodge, hit, loudspeaker, dodge, hit, loudspeaker. You get the concept. And he's got a lot less health too, I think. So there you go. That's it for this. That's all the characters. Completely done. We still have one more campaign to go through, of course, and that's going to be all characters played in the same campaign. And for Chapter 1, I'm just going to do a thing where I'm going to do it how the original scenario was done. But when we get to the checkpoint areas, I'll switch off to like Wheeljack or whatever. Because I think you go through like Optimus, Bumblebee, and then Sideswipe, and then you can switch right after if they let you do that after. So, yeah, I don't have much else to say besides... There you go. I still have no idea what the fuck completed the map means. I don't know. But, yeah, that's Grimlock. Great character. Probably like... If I had to argue, I'd say he's probably like maybe potentially the second best character, but I could be wrong. But, because Bumblebee is like at the top in terms of actual usefulness. Bumblebee's at the top. But goddamn, Grimlock was fun. Goddamn, Grimlock was good. And Hammer works really well with him. He's a great character to play. Definitely recommend it. And other than that, I got nothing more to say. Difficulty, same thing as always. 2 out of 10. Hell, I'd probably give it a 1 out of 10 at this point, considering the fact that Grimlock is piss easier. But, yeah, 2 out of 10, that's fair. 1 out of 10 is more like, Ratchet challenge mode. That's kind of like a 1 out of 10 difficulty for me. 2 out of 10 is like, it's definitely possible for anybody to do it. If you know the mechanics, of course. Dodging constantly helps. So, yeah, with that being said, the next thing in line would be God of War Ascension. I'm not looking forward to it, but I should probably do it. And then after that, we're going back to Transformers, and we're going to finish up that. And then after that, I don't know what's going to happen next. So I got another surprise thing coming. Possibly. That might happen. Not sure yet. Haven't exactly confirmed or denied whether or not it's going to happen. I mean, I've talked about it, and it's being done, but will it get done? Who's to say? Anything can happen. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's no big deal. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you all for watching. And, of course, as always, take care, everybody.